Okay, I'm ready. You're ready. Have at it. We're recording.
Okay, hello and welcome to the House of Games podcast, which is a video podcast, and we'd like to welcome new guys called Ncite Games to the House of Games. I'd like to introduce you guys to Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
Hi.
Mark, tell us
Yes.
about yourself.
Well, I will do that along with my presentation. But moving right along, that's Preston Hansmeyer, that's Paul Hansmeyer, the twins.
I think that they're twins. And there's Eli in the back.
So, okay, I will. So, our game's called Domineer the Accidental Hero. So, it's a game that we've kind of had as a thing we've been wanting to do for a long time now. That's why we joined HouseOgames, is trying to really jumpstart the project. So we're actually making a game now instead of just thinking about it. Our team has been halved a little. We had a lot of promises of people to come and join us, so I'm taking over majority of the programming and learning Lightwave as well to help out with some of our assets. So I'm trying to do everything, a little of everything, and these guys are doing the main character animations. So Preston, you can tell them a little bit about what you're doing.
Well, we're basically the main animators and modelers for the game, and we went to the Art Institute for it.
What are you doing on the project, Preston?
Basically, we're just building the characters and doing a little bit of animation for them.
Cool.
We haven't done much with the backgrounds yet, but we're going to be getting to that pretty soon, so hopefully we'll have quite a bit to show here pretty quick.
Right on.
Okay, so this is our first game as a team. I've made games through my schooling at Full Sail, so I've done it before, but it's been a very long time, so my programming is really rusty. And it's my first time using Unity, so I'm trying to relearn programming and relearn Unity all at the same time, along with learning Lightwave from these guys. So it's quite a challenge, but it's exciting as well. A lot of the reasons why we wanted to join HouseOgames is to help us with some of the goals we have as a company and for our game, because we know we can make a good game, but we really want to make a really polished game, and we want to really get the best product we can out the first time around. You join a group like this to learn the pitfalls that have already been down that road. We don't want to sit there and make pitfalls right out the gate, because I don't know how many other opportunities we have to get this going. So that's a very important thing for us, is to kind of learn what y'all have learned and gain a lot from feedback that y'all might have about what we're doing. So that's about who we are. Any questions for us about us and our team?
I have a question.
Yes.
So,
Of course she does.
Paul and Preston are both doing the animation. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, a different aspect of animation or the same animation?
More or less just character animation, really. So we're both doing parts of it. We're splitting it up between each other. So.
Oh, okay. So this way the animation is done twice as fast.
In theory.
In theory, with a little less Final Fantasy playing, yes. Final Fantasy Online is a bit of a downfall there.
Is it a good game?
So,
Okay. All right.
So the next thing I want to talk about is basically our game and our game story. So the concept is basically when I had, I really enjoyed the show Invader Zim. So if you're familiar with Invader Zim, he basically comes to Earth and he tries to conquer it. So that's basically what our main character is coming to do. But our little twist on that whole thing is that he's going for the title Domineer. And he's competing against his older brother. And his older brother is the one kind of expected to win. And so he has all the things that Domineer doesn't have. So still underdog like Invader Zim is in the show, but he's not technically a good guy. He's there to conquer. So that's why he becomes the accidental hero. And the premise of that is that he comes to Earth to conquer it, but he finds out his brother's already kind of taken over a lot of stuff because he's cheated. And in the process of trying to conquer the Earth from his brother, he lands up freeing the humans on the Earth and becomes their hero. So he, in fact, becomes the accidental hero. So the brothers, our main character's name is Damien, and his brother is called Sadik. And so Sadik, like I said, is the more favored of the two to win. And so basically they compete in this great contest of taking over planets. And so it's basically they fight for random planets that are set out from some galactic contest kind of thing, and they're chosen at random. So they basically have to win 2 out of 3, and they're both 1-1. So the fact that Damien won one planet made Sadik a little nervous, so he's cheating now. So he's found out what the third and final planet is, which is Earth, of course. And so Sadik's already there, taking it over, and leading into the game, you're kind of on Damien's ship, and you find out that Sadik's kind of sabotaged Damien's ship. So our demo level is basically on Damien's ship, which is like a Borg ship. We have a lot of pop culture sci-fi references. So we call it the Not-a-Borg, but it's basically a cube. And Sadik's ships are basically the triangles from, or the pyramids from Stargate. So we plan to have a big space battle in the background while you're playing the first demo level between cubes and triangles. So I always thought that would be pretty funny, because you got the Borg cubes and the Stargate triangles. So that's basically leading into the game. You're there, you're discovering your ship's been taken over, and all your little banger Borgs, which I'll talk about in a minute, have been taken over by your brother. So that is the story. Any questions about the Damians?
Brothers, right?
They're brothers.
I tell you.
These brothers are pretty tame compared to our characters. So, yes.
Where'd you come up with the names?
Well, it's actually our friend Eric actually came up with the name Damien. Sadik was originally sadistic, but it didn't come across so well when you try to say his name, so just shorten it to Sadik. And so we were bouncing a lot of, this many years ago, bouncing ideas about the story and all that kind of stuff, and Eric kind of came up with some of the names for the characters. There's still a few characters yet be named, like their Scarecrow character. We haven't quite named him yet because we're trying to do a clever name. But basically, Damien, that's our main character right there. He's our little guy with the Napoleon complex, thank you. Because he's a short little runt for his species, so he's got a little bit of an attitude. You can't have a main character without an attitude. I always preferred Sonic over Mario because Sonic had the attitude. So, and Sadik, that's his brother. He's got longer ears, more Batman-like with the little. And Banger, I'll talk about Banger a little bit. So Banger is basically, if he somewhat looks like Bender from Futurama, there might be a little bit of a relationship. But what makes ours a little bit different, so basically, think gremlins. So this guy can multiply himself. So a lot of his, the characters you're going to fight are ones that Sadik has taken over, and each Banger is going to have a theme for each stage thing we have, so there's going to be a different version of him to any kind of whatever sci-fi movie theme we're doing for that stage. And so the ones on his ship, since it's a Borg ship, they're going to be the Borg versions, so they're going to be the Banger Borgs, which still is in the process of being developed. But Banger's his the main one. He's the what is the name of the little guy from Gizmo? He's the main Gizmo. He's
So
the
cute.
original. He's the original, and he's Damien's little assistant. But he's got multiple personalities because he spawns all these other versions of himself out of himself. So we're going to use that as part of the comedy. We hope to enlist a lot of comedy into our game.
It's like a dark comedy.
It's probably not going to be. We're probably not going to go on the lines of Invader Zim, kind of dark comedy. We're hoping to go more of a Family Guy kind of comedy, kind of just silly stuff. So we're hoping to get that across if our comedic writing comes across well.
One other question: what happens if you feed a banger after midnight?
Well, that's what we're trying to decide. So I'm trying to do to help promote the game, to do an online comic strip to tell a lot of the backstory for each character, and so eventually I'll make a comic strip for Banger, which is basically the Gremlin story. But I still have to decide how the hell, he basically makes multiples of himself. I haven't decided, but it's going to be something like that.
Cool.
To stay true to the Gremlin story. So the first story, and I didn't even put her in the slides, but the first story that we're doing online is about the grandmother brain. And everybody, well, a few people don't know about Mother Brain from Metroid. I had to show these guys, which is blasphemy to not know Mother Brain. But Mother Brain from Metroid, we're kind of doing a play on her, but Grandmother Brain. But basically the story tells on how Damien came into possession of her. And basically she controls the ship and all the little banger boards. I forgot your question. I hope I answered it.
I just want to know what happens if you feed them after midnight.
Yes. Yes. Yet to be determined.
Okay.
And what exactly do you feed them?
Because it kind of morphs into like a more crazier version of Gizmo.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, these are a little bit more vicious kind of versions. So number one's another one of his little assistants, and he's kind of a cross between Rosie from Jetsons and R2-D2. So he's his little. And reason why we call him number one is also a play off of Star Trek with number one, Riker. Thank you. And but it is his first robot ever. So he's his first robot, and that's why he's called him number one. But he's going to be like the narrator of the game. So he's going to be basically with the demo stage. I hope to have like a small little tutorial. He's going to be the one instructing you how to do things. Next one is I did put Mother Brain in there. Okay, so Grandmother Brain. There she is. So Grandmother Brain is basically she's the ship core. She controls the ship. She also, because the banger borgs are so unruly and all the different versions, she controls them and they do the maintenance on the ship and all that kind of stuff. So she's like the brain of the ship. Makes sense?
She looks kind of evil.
Well,
She looks like Robin Williams, actually.
well, she is going. I'm hoping to make her personality. I hope this doesn't offend anybody, like an old Jewish lady, just with that very nasally kind of annoying voice. Is okay?
Barbara Streisand there. Gotcha.
But that's kind of the idea I'm going for. Really kind of
Must hold steady.
nagging. But we're all friends here. And here goes our bad guys. One of them we don't have modeled yet, but basically the Sadix crew, they're going to be the bosses for the stage, and they're the big bad guys. They're basically thugs and bounty hunters of the galaxy that Sadix kind of put together to help him defeat his brother. So we got Brute there, and he's like if he reminds you of Doomsday, he's a big tough guy. Scarecrow, we really don't have a name for him yet that we like, but He's going to be a bounty hunter that hunts crows, of course. And then we got Baron von Fatback, which is going to be like the Baron, like from Dune, the Dune Baron Harkonnen. So he's going to be flying around. He's going to be very fat and flying around in a little hover or something, hover chair, I guess. But we have not yet modeled him, but he's going to look something like that. So those are our characters, at least the initial characters of our game, all the ones with names, or soon to have names. Any questions about those? And most of the character modeling and character design came from these guys. Although they were initially my brainchild of ideas of the, so I take credit on the ideas of the characters, but they designed most of them. So any questions? All right, moving on. Part of what I wanted to do was talk about our game goals too, why we wanted to be with HouseOgames. I kind of talked about that earlier. We want to make the game that we want to make, but be able to make it in a way that's somewhat polished. That's not a crap game. We want to make it commercial-ish, and that's kind of the idea of the game, is to make it is an indie game, but with a more commercial kind of vibe to it, to make it more accessible to a lot of people to pick up and play. So a big part of it is delivering a polished game, and we want to sell it on multiple platforms, but the big one and big selling point of joining HouseOgames was being able to get it on Steam. But of course, as Luke said, it requires that our game not be crap. So we're trying not to make a crap game. So our game is a 2D side-scroller platformer. But it's 3D, I should say, not 2D. But we figured, every game company's got to have their platformer, because Nintendo had their Mario, Sega had their Sonic, PlayStation had Crash Bandicoot, but we wanted to make one that kind of sets who we are. That our game's going to be with humor and hopefully fun to play. So that's my presentation. And any questions for us before we?
Yeah, I have a question.
Look at the golf clap.
I do. That's where I'm. Yes, I'm loading it right now. Of course,
Windows
it's very early stages, so
sure.
bear with the. Nothing's textured yet because UV texturing is insanely hard, and unfortunately, this thing doesn't have the resolution that I've been working with, so things might not be quite in frame there.
HouseOUnity.
Okay, so he should be in full frame, but of course this isn't the correct resolution. But that's our main character. He's just sitting there breathing. Of course, you can't hear his little Darth Vader breath. But basically, he's got the Darth Vader breath. There we go. So the whole idea of this main screen, I don't know how many of you have played Knights of the Old Republic, the original one, but Knights of the Old Republic have their characters just sitting there, just looking badass in a little fog. So eventually this will look more like that, but I wanted to harken back to that because I love the Knights, the Knight of the Old Republic games. Okay, let's jump in, and I've already seen this acting a little weird on here. But this music is not our music. I stole it, so it's just there as a placeholder. And I will turn it down. Because before I came here, I forgot to put it on loop anyway, so it ends. So pointless playing it. But basically, the whole idea of this main thing, there will be a whole story why he's starting out in the bathroom, but he's starting out in the bathroom.
It's a very tall urinal.
Where he finds out his ship's being attacked, and number one's there to tell him, you know, that his ship's under attack. So, okay.
I can't to use a toilet.
He pees out of his head.
Yeah, that's what we've decided on this side of the side of the room.
So, platforms are there. I'm not going to go there yet. Oh, there it goes. So eventually these will be banger boards that are there, but they're just the original banger for minutes. But he's actually going to be the final boss. Of course, there we go. He dies. Shoots, dies. There we go. And I don't know why it's doing that. It doesn't do that on my computer, but it's doing that here. This is why we test it on multiple platforms. But these little drones here are statics drones, and they will eventually, a gun will come out of their mouth and shoot you. They will make funny expressions when they die. But that is Paul's department over here. He's been slacking. But,
One of those guys
right
is
now,
Paul.
nothing
I don't
kills
remember
you.
which one.
But as you can see in the background, I got little triangles and squares flying around there. Eventually that will be a whole battle scene. So lasers will be like G.I. Joe style, lasers just going everywhere and ships exploding. So it will, I'm still playing around with a lot of it. Like I said, nothing's textured. Okay, so I gotta kill some of these because they're just multiplying. Let me go kill the hatch. So basically you gotta go, oh, I must have just shot it.
Well done.
There was a hatch there, and the hatch is actually what spawns these things, and basically that's how Static's little robots come to infest his ship, is because his little triangle ships come and pierce the hole and open up and release the things which are floating around the head that do nothing right now, but they're just floating and they will be shot and killed.
Sweet.
Animation on him walking is really cool. He's got a nice swing to it.
Yeah, he does, but I have no idea why it's doing that. Because it is doing that shaking shit, which, excuse my language, internet.
The internet's so civil.
They have strict rules on that thing.
Mm-hmm. You get flagged.
Oh, there goes the music. Yeah, because it's not looped. And in the background, we will have more interesting stuff going on. But right now, you just got a couple of rows of the actual like Borg alcoves. If you're familiar with Star Trek, with the Borg alcoves, we hope to have a lot more going on. Okay. So basically the demo stage will have 3 parts to it, and what is going on? It's actually really buggy right now, of course, when I'm trying to show things off. Who knows why he's, he is really doing it. I don't know if it has to do with the resolution or what. Okay, that's the dead end.
Yeah, possibly actually.
But that is really annoying. But it wasn't doing that on my computer. But that is okay. We will suffer through this, and I'm going to take y'all to see our other parts of our... So basically there's two other parts to this that you have to get to. I'm probably going to redesign this.
You gotta get comfortable now.
Yeah, I got tired of being on my knees there. But, come on, don't go there. Come on.
You started it.
Okay, oh, that's right. The other little area. Okay, so eventually this will be a little mini game of Simon, if y'all are familiar with the 80s toy. So the whole idea is Mother Brain is under attack. That's how Static's controlling the little banger Borgs, because he's had a virus with her. So you got to restart her generators, and you restart the generators by playing a game with Simon. So that's what these little different color platforms are. Eventually, you will be playing a game with Simon, and basically, you have to keep her health up because she will be being attacked by everything, and you can't let her get destroyed or that's game over. But eventually we'll get that going. But So, okay, we will start over. There we go. Let's get back. Okay, so that's, and in the background, we want to and plan to have it set up like a matrix background where you have all the little pods of banger boards, like in the Matrix, and you have the little what do you call them things? The little octopus-looking things in the background.
The Sentinel,
yeah,
yeah.
the Sentinels. Thank you.
And the giant fields.
The little Sentinels. God, this is acting really weird. Okay, but Jesus. But yeah, so the little Sentinel's going to be doing stuff in the background. So we hope to have more interesting.
I mean, I'm used to the back people's heads, but
as long as I don't have a bald spot back there, you can keep on filming from that. Okay, so they're AI. Oh my God. I don't know what. So there are bugs in this game right now. Okay. Well,
very early prototype. It's very expected.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it's broken now, so I gotta quit.
It's okay.
Hooray!
Okay, hold on. There's one more area I want to show. I didn't quite get there yet. Okay, we're not quite over, so bear with me here.
You can increase the resolution. I think it's a 13.
Yeah, it only goes to a certain resolution on this laptop. It doesn't go to the resolution I need. Because the laptop resolution is limited, I guess.
Can't you set it down?
Well, I'm trying to get it. Oh, God. All right, let's make it this time. There we go.
He just wants to show that.
Okay, so the person doing all the stage stuff is me. I'm doing the stage. I modeled the #1 character, and I did the not aboard stage, which I'm most likely going to redesign. But I've also done the other 2 stages for this. So I've been mainly doing the stage work. So the final battle where you battle the main banger, because he's been taken over by Sadik on the like a Star Wars bridge, but we plan to make it a little bit different so we don't get sued by Disney now. It would have been George Lucas, but now it's Disney because Disney owns everything.
Yeah, they do.
EA and Disney, they own everything. All we need is them, EA, Disney, Comcast to merge, and that will be all our entertainment all in one. I'm not giving them any ideas on that. God, this thing is just going crazy. Alright, eventually I'll get there. I'm getting to the top. Alright. There we go. Okay. But basically, the windows are basically an upside Atari symbol. A little shout out to Atari, if anybody's noticed. He's struggling. Oh, there we go. So basically, Star Wars Bridge, you got a little hologram of Sadik in the background. He's going to be taunting him while he fights. So this one, he doesn't die yet. So. But basically, this will be more like Star Wars Bridge, where you still see the fighting in the background. Big planet Earth. So, this is our demo stage. We plan to have 5 or 6 stages.
It was 5.
5, I think.
If we can get that far.
Yes, we will get that far. Jeez, such optimism. But that's what we got so far. So, like I said, it's very early. But. We want to really focus on getting the demo done so we can start getting around and put all the elements in the initial demo so it'll be easier to make the stages. Then it'll be just basically the stage designs that we'll be working on because we'll have all the other logic going. All right.
Well, thank you very much, Mark.
I know that was long.
Oh my God! Look at that, Nick! Bravo!
Round of applause.